public hearing on the ordinance. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the board. Matt is logging in remotely as a citizen at the moment for the public hearing, and we'll talk about that a little bit further at our when the Board of Selectmen meeting starts. So we're here on a public hearing to consider an ordinance to amend to Chapter 247, Article 10 of the Town Code, Veterans Property Tax Exemption. We can kindly ask for a motion for a temporary chair.
I'd like to make a motion for Mr. Federici to act as temporary chair. I second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So I'm going to read this. It's a few paragraphs, but we're here in addition for anybody that's online. We're amending section 247-39 and adding sections 247-40 and 247-41 as follows. So 247-39 will read, for assessment years commencing on and after October 1, 2025, any veteran entitled to an exemption from property tax for a dwelling as described in subdivision 83 capital A, small I, of Connecticut General Statute section 12-81 shall be entitled to an additional exemption of not more than 2 acres of the lot upon which such dwelling sits. Section 247-40 reads, for assessment years commencing on and after October 1, 2025, the surviving spouse of any veteran who has been determined by the Department of Veteran Affairs to be permanently and totally disabled based upon a service-connected disability rating of 100% and had died prior to October 1, 2024, but after October 1, 2014, shall be entitled to the exemption described in 247-39 above, while such spouse remains a widow or widower. So surviving spouse provision. 247, new section 247-41, effective date. The article was initially effective upon or on October 1, 2025. Grand list for taxes due and payable on July 1, 20. Excuse me, I got that wrong. This article was initially effective on October 1, 2005. Grand list for taxes due and payable on July 1, 2006. So sections 247-39 and 247-41 are effective and applicable to assessment years October 1, 2025 and thereafter. How'd we do?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Beckett, you have any comments?
These are the local options for 1281-83, which was passed
Becky, you should probably
in October 2024.
When you say passed by the state legislature.
But yes, the Connecticut general statutes, it was added the exemption of the dwelling for 100% permanently and totally disabled veterans. So they're adding several local options that you can choose from. And you guys decided 2 acres of land, which is the maximum. You can't, people are confused, you can't do the whole piece of property, it's only up to 2 acres. And then for the surviving spouses, dating backward.
Okay.
And
it's applicable starting this grand list year and that it's not retroactive. That's what that last bit was saying, right?
Okay, that helps because I didn't make it very clear since I stumbled across it.
The first part was the October 1, 2005 was for the initial ordinance, so that had to stay in there.
Okay.
And this is as we discussed and voted on last night.
Yes.
Okay. I do have one question. I guess I have 2 questions. The dates of death of the veteran.
We went
prior to
back
October.
an extra year because we had someone come in and say, our understanding was that the board wanted to include everybody. Yeah. So that was the earliest date that we had.
But my question is actually the later date, died prior to October 1st, 2024. Does the language discuss what happens if the veteran dies after that date?
Yes, it's automatic because of the statute. It was passed in the statute as of October 1, 2024. That was that initial date that they enacted the statute. So everything after that is covered. But if you had somebody before that, the spouse, they changed the language to,
Okay,
as that date.
24740 is the retroactive piece.
I understand, but do we need to state that in our ordinance too? The fact that it's part of the state law?
I believe, and I don't know if Peter's here, he can correct me on this, but we referenced it, 128183 is the statute.
In the
It's-
first
and-
section.
Yeah,
Peter's here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
there-
statute,
okay.
by statute, those folks are covered. You don't need to state that in our ordinance.
No. Okay,
So,
Okay, so this is to modify and extend that benefit further than the Connecticut statute requires. But those folks that we're talking about now, they're covered by the statute.
so since we're extending it, I'm just saying, we're extending it beyond what the statute requires. Why would we have that end date of October 1st, 24? Why not just leave that out?
Well, because they are covered already by the statute and also
The spouses?
yes, and I think I'd have to look at the act again. I'm pretty sure that's the language in the enabling act that allows us to modify. So we're just following
Okay.
what is permitted under the statute.
Okay, but you looked at it and considered it.
Yes.
Yeah, 24 going
Yeah.
forward is included, so
Yeah,
we have to
okay.
go from 24 backward.
Okay,
Does
That's
that?
okay, okay. And then my only other question, I hadn't really thought about this before, but being a widow or a widower, I realize that we're trying to address the situation when someone remarries. Aren't you always a widow or widower? Once your spouse is, I mean,
So it's just like you just said, I think it's, remains a widow or whatever, not, that you're, again, yes,
Remains.
that you're not gonna
But
remarry. If you remarry, then you lose the benefit.
I get the concept. I'm just,
I know,
just want
I
to make
know,
sure we.
I'm not sure,
correctly-
that's how
okay.
that is how they, word it in the actual
It
statute.
is, okay,
Yeah.
That's statutory
All
as
right.
well, yes.
thank you.
So the legislature in its wisdom has handed us this, and we've adopted one of the options, and that's incorporated by this language.
Yes.
Slight quirks and all.
I just-
Yes, we
I'm
tried
just
to
curious
iron it
about
out.
one thing myself, and not being too familiar with the statute, but if they have more than 2 acres, would they still get some of the provisions in the earlier statute? They would get the $10,000
No, it's,
adjustment?
the language prohibits them getting more than one benefit.
Okay,
So, this is always the better one. We kind of actually
Yeah.
always apply the better one.
absolutely better, a lot better.
Yes, the $10,000 benefit, it's per mill rate is very low.
Very small. Yeah.
Couple $1,000s. And if so that was the original benefit that you would get if you were any disability, 50, 75%, 100%, you get that kind of $10,000, and there's a local option that we have. But again, this supersedes that.
Okay, but the property being over 2 acres, you just get prorated for the 2 acre
We have
value?
to, we have to take out the 2 acres. It is not for the whole, it's not the property in its entirety. It's the dwelling and then up to 2 acres of land. If they don't have the 2 acres, obviously, it's
Okay.
not that much, but
All right.
Right?
they
So
did not
just-
do the
just
whole property.
for context of those listening in, that this benefit used to apply just to, as Becky says, the dwelling unit, the sticks and mortar, not the land that it sits upon. So now the benefit also extends to up to 2 acres of the actual real estate that it sits upon.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Peter.
I think, this could be, I'm not sure, the house lot. You're trying to, I think, gather the house lot instead of what if somebody had 10 acres of land, you're not gonna do
Okay,
that much,
all right.
Anything else
No more
from
question?
anyone on the board? I'll open it up to the public. Anyone on Zoom have any questions or comments about the proposed amendment to the town code? Yeah, Katie, I think you're muted.
Christie,
Christie.
she should state her name there.
Yeah.
Christy Rubendunst, 221 Fitch Hill Road, Guilford. I support the amendment. I think
Thank
it's
you.
really worth doing, yes.
Anyone else want to have a comment or question? No? Once, twice? Okay, no one in the room? I would close the public hearing. Thank you. Becky, do I have to make a motion to close the hearing or is it just closed? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye, Becky.
Okay, so we'll move to our regular meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we so kind?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Couple quick comments and a quick statement. So first of all, welcome to everyone for our first meeting of the new board. Welcome in particular to Jonathan,
Thank you, sir.
our new member. Matt is zooming in remotely, and I just want to say he was delayed in Washington, D.C. and unfortunately was not able to return in time to attend this meeting in person or to take the oath of office yet. So he's attending by Zoom. It's the first meeting of the term, and out of abundance of caution, just simply asked me to run the meeting. So thank you, Matt, and
Thank you.
everyone for that consideration. So I'll open with public forum. Does anyone have any comment from the audience in public forum?
Limited to agenda.
Limited to agenda items. Thank you, Sandy.
That's all right.
Thank you. Okay, hearing none. Anyone second, twice, third, no good? Okay, so we'll move to approval of the minutes. We have our November 17 regular meeting minutes. Any questions or comments about those? I think we received, I will just say there was in the mail slots in the selectman's office, there's a packet from the Sumpashaw committee worth
Okay.
picking up
Okay.
and making for every one of us. And it makes, it attaches all the letters and various items that were referenced in that last meeting. So it's worth just stopping in there quickly because there's a lot there. Okay, any no comments on the meetings? Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I'll abstain.
All in favor?
Aye.
And one abstention. Thank you. We have the next item, 4.2, the November 13th, 2025 capital plan meeting minutes. Quite a bit here. Very helpful as always from our department heads. Questions, comments? There's a lot. I would again just make an observation. There's a lot happening with the police public safety building. Worth trying to either zoom in or attend the standing building committee
Yes.
if you can. And you can always ask the chief as if he's got not enough to do, but you can get some information and he'll direct you where to get information about that. But that's a big project on the horizon.
It was executive session, I think, that meeting.
Oh, well, there's a lengthy
Was it?
note here.
I could be mistaken. I thought the standing building committee went.
Are they going to talk about that report though, the needs assessment report?
Really, you're absolutely correct. They went into executive session to discuss the opportunity.
That that's coming. Okay, well, I didn't say anything that's particularly confidential, but there we are. Any other comments?
We've been publicly aware of needs of the police building for.
Yeah,
Yes,
fair enough.
yes.
The report itself, that's not part of executive session, right? They distributed
Well,
that.
the standing building committee would tell you what they could
Okay.
have and not have. Thanks for that clarification.
That particular copy, I believe, was a draft.
Draft. That's right.
Okay, that explains it. Can I get a motion to approve the November 13th capital plan?
So moved.
Second.
Abstain.
All in favor of the motion to approve? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So next item is with regard to the ordinance amendment that we just heard, discuss and take possible action on an ordinance amendment to chapter 247 of the town code, the veterans property tax exemption as a result of the public hearing.
I will make the motion that we amend the town code as proposed.
As presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further questions, comments, or discussion? No? Okay, great. All in favor of that proposed amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, that passes. Thank you all. Next, Guilford Public Schools 6.1, review and discuss change order number 4 for the Baldwin gym floor. Cliff, did you
Good
want?
morning.
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 Thanks for having me. So we have this is change order number 4 for the Baldwin Gym floor project that was done over the summer. This change order itself required us to do additional prep and leveling in order to put the slab within the tolerance required by the installer in order to get the warranty for the floor. So we ended up having to take down some high spots and then raise up a couple of the low spots so that the whole floor was within tolerance. So the Standing Building Committee did review this and made the recommendation to award the work to Tarkett Sports in the amount of $8,777.
Thanks. Any questions? I have one or two. Cliff, is it fair to say that issue did not present itself until the old floor was removed?
Correct. There's no way to see this ahead of time. Correct.
Okay. And based on what you said, by making this change, we're bringing it into the warranty that we should be getting with the installation.
Correct.
Any other questions, comments for that? Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I was just curious, they didn't realize they had to level the old floor when they
Johnny,
gave
do
the,
you want to second that?
Second
Next
motion
question.
first.
oh, sure, second.
I mean, you can vote either way, but we need a second to go forward. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious if they, they didn't realize ahead of time that they needed to level the older floor to put the new
There's
floor
no
down.
way to determine the slab, the actual exact leveling of the slab until you remove the floor. Because you keep in mind, there was some sort of underlayment underneath the old gym floor, which was asbestos, and then the new gym floor was laid, or not the new gym floor, but the gym floor was laid on top of that. So you had the gym floor and another layer before you even got down to the slab. So I don't know how you'd ever determine that the slab itself wasn't within tolerance until you remove the floor. It's physically impossible.
And the intermediate layer of asbestos tile.
It wasn't asbestos tile, but it was asbestos material, correct. So we did the abatement right after school got out. Once they did the abatement and cleared the floor, that's when we were able to tell that there was issues with the actual slab itself. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of that $8,777 change order?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, that passes. Thanks, Cliff. And it looks like you have one more. The review of the Baldwin HVAC duct modifications.
Correct. So this is the only change order for that project. It's change order number 1. And during the project, we determined that it would be in our best interest, working with the engineer, the contractor, and the company doing the cleaning of the ducts. Because the ducts are original and have multiple penetrations, it made sense to seal the ducts. And they do that by essentially sealing all the vents and then blowing in a certain sealer that clogs all the little holes and anywhere air would leak out, seams, that type of thing. So this was reviewed by the Standing Building Committee. They recommended approving it to Rotolo Mechanical in the amount of $16,439.12. I did make a note on here. We tested the ductwork prior to the sealing of the ductwork, and the leakage was 461 CFM of leakage. And after sealing it, dropped it all the way down to 178 CFM. There's no way to have perfect seal, but we did reduce it by about 61%. So that greatly enhanced the amount of air that we can provide to the various spaces and prevent leaking above the ceilings and in the various ductworks throughout the system.
So it's already been done, you're saying?
Yes, we had to do it in order to close up the project, so.
Doesn't the change order normally come and be approved before the work is done?
Normally we try to do that, but however, we can't always do that in order to get the school open. So if I delayed this, we wouldn't have opened school on time.
But
So
it's-
in that case, we had to move forward.
So it's December already.
Yep.
It's surprising why did it take so long?
Because I actually missed taking the change order to the standing building committee. So that was the delay there. Yep.
And they probably came to you looking for payment and then you realized that.
I
So-
realized that, yes, correct,
Okay.
that we were missing this change order and it hadn't been approved by the Board of Selectmen. Yep.
So it got done before school opened, but the paperwork is late.
Lagging behind, yes. Yep.
All right.
But does it,
Can I make a suggestion? Can I get a motion on the floor and then we can
yes,
move forward?
move to approve the change order.
So moved.
Second. Okay,
We can still have a discussion if
Yeah.
we need it.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right, sorry, Lou.
so that's all right. So further questions for Cliff? Cliff, a little process glitch.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm a little surprised they didn't have that in the original estimate that they would test the ductwork and possibly seal it.
We did have the testing in it, but not the sealing. Because there's no way to know until you actually test it to see how poor it is. So we had in the past actually had a vendor go through and try to find any leaks. And they did find a couple actually larger leaks that they were able to correct, but it's physically impossible to find all the various smaller leaks at the seams within the duct itself. And then there's different test points when a vendor comes and they do some balancing and testing. They'll drill a hole through the side, put a little probe in there, and a lot of times they don't seal it up properly. So it takes care of all those small issues.
I did have another comment. The amount in your letter is not the same as the amount in the change order request. It's $2,000 less. I don't know if there was a reason for that. I think you're looking for 16 for.
Whoops. Yes,
Paperwork.
you are correct. I looked at the top number and forgot. Thank you. That's a good catch. So I need to make a change to that one. So the actual amount was $18,439.12. So I don't know if you can revise or amend your motion to the proper amount.
Cliff, what happens? Where are we with this situation exactly? I mean, this has been a published announcement, numbers off. I mean, where things stand is a couple of options. We could push it over 2 weeks if you've got time to do that. We can, if it's a crisis, I suppose we could approve the 16,439 and circle back to these guys with the balance with an explanation that's what happened.
Being a regular scheduled meeting, I would think you'd be able to correct that amount based upon the paperwork that's in front of you, seeing it was a typo, not a presented incorrect amount. We are holding up their entire payment until this gets approved. So you're talking a
I
large
hate to
amount.
punish the company for our mistake.
Correct.
Yeah.
Especially since they've sort of been punished already.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we should at least give them the 16 something if we want to hold off the 2,000.
Matt, thoughts?
Yes. Past precedent has been if there were errors in the documentation submitted to us, the board just amended the motion to reflect the total price.
And the reality is, it is
We've done that.
attached.
We've done that numerous times over the years.
All right, and it is attached to the actual statement below Cliff's memo. So
Correct.
it's not like a complete surprise. But Cliff, I just, not to scold, but a couple more minutes of process prep is kind of helpful.
Correct. Yeah, I should double check my number. As you can tell, it was more of a typo than it was because the rest of the number was correct. So I obviously went for the 6 instead of the 8. So I apologize for that. I will be more diligent and double check my numbers when we move forward.
And Lou, I had one question for Cliff.
Well, let me go one step further, Cliff. The next item down is a statement from Duck Diagnostics that says 16,812.50. What is happening? Numbers are semi all over the place.
Is it a mark?
If you scroll down to the actual invoice from Duck Diagnostics.
Correct. That's their invoice, but then you have to put on the GC's markup, right, which is 7%, and the bonding fee, which was 2.5%. So yeah, you have a sub, so you have to then pay your GC and the bonding costs for the project.
Okay, so the actual correct statement, just so they don't let you go, so just so we know what we're talking about, the absolutely correct numbers here are in the change order request that has a
Correct.
heading of Rotolo Mechanicals, and that has the 7% markup and a bond fee. Okay.
Correct. So they provided us the backup of what it cost from their sub so that we knew we had the exact amount.
So this item might be the victim of our having a short agenda today, but why is Rotolo Mechanical entitled to a 7% markup necessarily? Why do we need to agree to that?
Because
then-
it's on their contract when we sign it.
Did
So
they get a 7%?
majority of the time at GC, we'll have a markup up to about 10% that we pay for any change orders. That's
And
common.
presumably
that's
the
common
underlying
construction-
contract.
Common construction practice right there. And some, like I said, I've seen 10, 15% on markups. Yep.
So
We
the
don't like to
contracts,
pay it, however, it's common practice that's
The
normally written in the
alternative would be
contract.
that the contracts would be 7% greater. People would
Well-
quote with their overhead built in.
I get that it's a common practice, but coming up at the last minute as a change order like this, does that not fall outside of the regular contract in any way to allow us to save that? And the
No,
bond?
because
fee, I
they
mean,
still have to oversee and manage what's going on with that sub. They have to do the paperwork to create the change order and process the change order. So
Okay.
there is work on their end. It's not just that the sub did the work, but it's up to the GC to ensure the work was done properly per the proposal.
Okay,
The GC does usually take some liability.
I
for the
understand.
Total job.
I understand the concept. It's just that it's an annoying situation, frankly.
Oh, absolutely.
And the bond fee, I mean, did they have to change, do they have to get a bond that was larger by 17.9 in order to do this? I mean,
Correct.
what?
They altered their
did.
bond, yes.
They upped their
for
bond.
coverage. Yep.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Well, we would need a motion to amend our pending motion for 18,439.12. Yes, Cliff, that's the number?
18,439.12, correct.
A motion that we amend motion to that effect so that the total is 18,439.12.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion on this?
Luke?
All right.
I have
Yeah, Matt.
Cliff, the question, these change orders, are they within the range anticipated when we set the contingency for these projects?
Yes, well within range. We still have a balance for that project of about $388,000. So we're well within our budget.
Thank you.
And as I think I mentioned before, this was the only change order for that entire project. So I think we did pretty well.
And the other thing is that we could take up a conversation at some point for discussion on contracts. We can bring Pete into this conversation as well as Attorney Donofrio, who writes and negotiates on nearly all of our construction contracts to go over some of the questions I think that Sue and Jonathan just had relative to the process and how the costs are broken up.
That would be helpful.
Thank you.
And again, we have negotiated down when a contract comes in and they want 15% or a 20% markup on a change order. That normally gets negotiated down to a lower amount if they put in a higher non-standard amount. Just so you know, we have actually negotiated down on those.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay.
We had a motion, a second. No further comments. Thanks, Matt, for that suggestion. That would be super helpful. So all in favor of the amended motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, thanks. Okay, So we have to set item 7, we have to set a public hearing that's being proposed for January 5, 2026 to review a proposed ordinance change to 924 Standing Fields Committee. Can I get a motion just to set that date?
I'll make the motion to set that date.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion on the date of January 5? Everybody good as we roll into the new year? I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All in favor of the motion to set the date of January 5, say aye.
Aye.
Next item is 8, Declaration of a Human Rights Day. And there's a statement here describing what that is. It's dated November 21, but they are proposing December 10. No, excuse me. I'll
Yes.
just read the first paragraph. Whereas on December 10, 1948, the member states of the United Nations signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and countries of different political, economic, and social systems unanimously agreed on the fundamental rights that all people share solely on the basis of their common humanity. And it goes on. Has everybody had a chance to go through that? And they are proposing that Guilford, the Board of Selectmen, proclaim December 10th as Human Rights Day in the town of Guilford.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Questions?
Did we do this before, or is this the first time that?
Madam,
That we
tap you
have this.
again, please.
First time.
First time.
What does that entail that we declare this?
It's a good question.
Put it on some kind
It's
of
interesting.
calendar?
This popped up on one of my podcasts recently. The whole 1948 was obviously an interesting moment.
Mm.
That whole 5 years
Mhm.
between the wars was kind of a strange time.
Yeah.
But leaving that aside, Matt, again, sorry,
Yeah,
can you give us
just
a little bit of
quick-
what it would involve, what our requirements would be for this?
But first off, I think the way the declaration is written, it suggests that it is a standing declaration, that it doesn't limit it to 2025. And therefore it will be a repeating day of honor for human rights, as opposed to us having to do it every year.
Thanks for that. And I would sort of say really the second to last paragraph, the last whereas, and again, I'll read it, bear with me. I think this answers your question, Jonathan. The Guilford Human Rights Commission encourages our residents to study and promote the ideas contained in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to ensure that freedom, justice, and equality shall not perish, but will flourish and be made available to all. So it's guidance and awareness of these issues.
Yeah.
And this is just an assumption. I didn't ask any member of this commission, but they might choose to do some publicity around it as a commission.
Yeah, at least to read it
Right.
perhaps publicly
Right.
or something like that would be good. It's kind of plain English and it's great. I do have a suggestion for the proclamation, and it's the one that Lou just mentioned. Shouldn't it come from the Board of Selectmen, whereas the Guilford Human Rights Commission encourages? I mean, if we're passing this.
The now therefore does say the Board of Selectmen do hereby proclaim, but
But
you're used to the previous
One above
whereas.
that,
I
yeah.
understand that.
yeah,
Would you say whereas the Board of Selectmen and the Guilford Human Rights Commission, since that is their,
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
but
yeah.
that is their main
Mhm.
raison d'etre, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, it's in a sense, it's our proclamation. So I would, consistent with Matt's last comment about adjusting things on the fly, if we would take an amendment to the last whereas
Mhm.
to include whereas the Guilford Board of Selectmen and the Guilford Human Rights Commission. Is that your proposal?
Yes.
Can
Yes,
I
it
get
is.
it? Can I take that as a motion, Sue? Danny?
Second,
Thank you. Any further question on that as amended? Okay. All in favor of the proclamation as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that we should act on it every year. I think it's good to remind people of this. I mean, I had to go back and research it and read it, and it was good for me. So
Mhm.
I like the idea of bringing it up every year, just as the president has done every year.
yeah, it's easy to let the big issues fall by the wayside as you pay attention to little stuff.
Yeah.
So now we have a series of resignations, I'm afraid. The first item is 9.1, the resignation of Cindy Preble from the Affordable Housing Commission. This has been on a number of times, and it's really just the focus of her energies. She will remain, as I understand it, on one of the commissions.
She's going to resign from the Affordable Housing Commission, and that is the correct term for that. And I believe at some point be appointed or elected to the Guilford Housing Authority.
And I think we did that last time.
Yes.
Yes.
Last one. That's,
So has she already been appointed to the Guilford Housing Authority?
yes.
Yes. Yes.
And she couldn't serve on both because.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I got some correspondence on that.
Yeah,
I will make that motion with regret and appreciation.
yeah, I'll second it with regret and appreciation.
Okay. And
And I'll say thank you, Cindy, for a lot of public service.
yes,
She helps with the registrar every year.
and it sounds like she's going to be continuing in some capacity for the
Yeah.
town, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So with all that, all in favor of that resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Next is 9.2, Ben Robinson is resigning from the Agriculture Commission.
I will accept the resignation of Ben Robinson from the Agricultural Commission with regret, but I believe he's going to be moving to some other one recent soon, so we won't lose this.
Exactly. Sounds like a similar situation.
Right.
A little
Right,
refocus of energy and time.
Right.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second with regard to the accepting resignation from the Agriculture Commission. Any further comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, then we have a number of town property requests. Use of the green for the Little Folks Fair. This has got to be next spring. Let's see it real quick.
Yeah.
June 2nd, 2026.
June 2nd, 2026. Yeah, motion for the Little Folks Fair annual event.
So moved.
Second,
Any question or comment on that? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
10.2, discuss and take action to approve a sign on the green for the community nursery school to advertise the Little Folks Fair. Placement May 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next item, 10.3, use of the green for the Guilford Food Bank. It's food distribution.
I think it is. I think it's a display like we've had in the past periodically that we were.
That's what it says. Event to be held. It says display in
Yeah.
item 5.
I think the agenda item is incorrectly worded.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is,
because the person in charge of the event is the person that does occasionally
Yes.
does
Yes.
displays on the screen with permission to benefit
Yes.
local charities or organizations. So I think you're right. I think it's display, not a food distribution.
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah.
It's going to potentially benefit the food bank, I think.
the actual
Yes.
completed permission for use of the green form is much more informative. He's expecting potentially up to 100 people. It is a display. I suspect
Yeah.
it's going to be consistent with prior use.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And it'll be toward the goal of advertising the food bank.
yeah.
And date of event, it's a single day, which is not what has happened in the past. I don't know if that's an oversight or if that's the idea.
Maybe he's going to put it up on the 5th. And then usually we had some limitation as to how long it could be up. But I can't really remember now.
Talked
Maybe a
about,
week or 2 weeks.
yeah.
Once again, Matt, I'm going to tap you if you have further insight there.
Not on this particular one. No, I don't.
He's looking to do something on December 5th,
Which is this Friday.
which
Tree
is
lighting.
really
The tree lighting.
tree lighting.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we can impose the time limit. We can say no more than 7 or 10 days. Well, how long have these displays been up in the past, Matt?
Usually about a week's time frame. That allows
Yeah,
for-
I think, yeah, between a week and 2 weeks, because at one point it was longer and we kind of made some guidance about these
It being
things.
the holiday season, though, there's going to be a fair amount of activity.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be offended by a week or 10 days, up to the pleasure of the board.
Agree with that.
I wouldn't mind being more
Good.
conservative, giving them 10 days.
Yeah.
So 10 days.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like it, and if he needs to come back, he can come back. So, can I get a motion to limit or to extend what's been requested, beginning December 5th and lasting 10 days.
Till December 15th.
Okay, got a motion?
Yeah, we made it.
You
I
did.
could try
All
and
right,
like that.
I made it.
What do you want to do?
I'll make it. I don't mind.
Before we do though, I have another question.
Yeah.
Section 7, where is that with respect to the tree, the Christmas?
I think, I mean, just judging from where some of these displays have been in the past, it's kind of just opposite from St. George Church
It's
in that area.
It's the town hall side. Town
No,
hall
it's the,
side. Looking at the
well,
map.
it's the
Yes,
side
Yes,
that's
it is. It is a town hall site.
It's-
the town hall side. Oh, all right, then that,
So where's that relative to the tree fence?
Uh, the triangle that is section 7 basically goes from, 1/3 of, the green to the north and 1/3 of the green to the south. So it's a vast area,
Yeah.
in front of town hall.
You got Matt?
So I do, there's one in the Little Folks Fair thing, a couple pages up. So
Okay.
7, town hall is over here somewhere.
Yeah,
And this is 7. So my concern is, without knowing the nature of the display, which we never had for his displays, that's part of the fun. But we have had issues in the past where people have asked to put up religious displays
right.
inside the
near the
fence.
tree, inside the fence, things like that. Are we comfortable with this without knowing where it's gonna go and what it is?
Well, at a minimum, it can't be inside based on what we've expressed before.
Yes.
It would not be
definitely.
inside the tree fencing,
Yeah,
section 7.
I would suggest that you dictate specifically where he puts them, which would be, I would suggest on the south side, so it does not interfere with the gathering of tree lighting.
I mean, it seems to me where they have traditionally been, these displays are sort of on the, let's see if I can read this, are closer to section 6 and even section 9
and
possibly.
even, yeah,
I mean, if we moved it to section 6, how disruptive is that?
not, it doesn't seem
I
like
don't
that
think
would
it's,
It's our
interfere
our
with,
call.
yeah. It's such a big crowd. We don't want it in the middle of a,
I completely agree. So we're at another minute. Thank you.
sorry. Short meeting.
So if we could kindly have an amendment to the request, to the extent that it is going to run from January 5th to the 15th,
December 5th.
December 5th to the 15th, and we would approve placement of these in section 6. Yes, can I have that amendment
I'll make that amendment.
and a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Someone has to let him know.
Someone has to let them know. And we're counting on Brendan here, I think,
Yeah.
and or Matt. All right. Any further discussion on that? I can't wait to see what it is now.
So what if, I mean, sorry, section 6, you really can't see it from any of the streets as well as where he's had it in the past. Should we give him a little more? Just go
Should we say 5, 6, or 9?
5, 6, or 9? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Where do we know where the Hanukkah
Oh,
presentations are?
Hanukkah menorah is staying in the same place it has been for a number of years,
Just like,
right across from St. George.
so that's gotta be,
That sounds like 5. So 6 or 9
6 or
seems like
9.
the winners.
yeah.
6 is really the big section just south of the Civil War
Mhm.
Memorial.
I'm okay with 6. I just thought, well, he
We can give
requested
him-
7. That's
we
to go
can-
closer to the street, so 6 should work.
We
Yeah.
can say 6.
Okay,
6 or 9. All right, so we're proposing 6 or 9.
6 or 9.
Fair enough to give them a
Yes.
little flexibility.
Yeah.
With that final amendment. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you.
if we wanted to be really cool, we could get 6, 7.
Oh, my goodness. That is
still don't know
fantastic.
what that means.
That's gone now.
Thank
That's an
goodness.
expression that's been around.
So,
I'm sure you know that.
I don't think I do. 6, 7.
no, it's
Yeah.
a thing, that's a
It
thing,
started
a
with,
cultural
yeah,
thing.
cultural children's thing. I'm always late to these things. I'm probably the last person to use it.
Thanks.
I had to
This
do
is-
that.
this is gonna
I had
make
to
it
do
even more
I'm sorry.
memorable.
I had to do it.
That brings us to 10.4, discuss and take possible action for the use of the green for the Guilford Keeping Society tour ticket tent. A little alliteration there. And can we just see what date that is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
pushing
in
out the
spring.
May. These folks are way ahead.
Yeah.
This Keeping Society. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion for that.
Second, anyone?
Second,
Thank you. This looks like it's a one-day event, 10 to 4. And it's gonna be a fundraiser. I think they're,
it's a house tour, but they restarted this again last year after quite a
they
time
want a
that
home
didn't
base.
have it. So the Rotary helped with it. It's the information place where people pick up things and get information. It's very small, it's just one little tent at one corner of the green. I think it was in the kind of near Broad and Whitfield.
This one says section 2, so you're
Yeah.
exactly right. All right, any other questions or comments on that? All in favor? Aye. All right, 10.5, Westbrook Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses to use wine in a religious ceremony. I feel like this has come before us before.
Yes, we did. This was the group that came before.
We did. We approved the use last year for their annual congregational gathering.
And what it says is, oh,
There was
sorry,
no-
Matt.
There were
Go ahead.
no reported issues.
I agree with that we did that, but since then, we've had other situations with the use of alcohol on town property. And Matt, I believe you said that the last time when we denied a request from Parks and Rec, that we would maybe have to rethink this holistically because we seem to be dealing with it more than we used to. So I'm not necessarily against this, but since it's April 2nd,
Yeah, we've had time.
I would love to hold off on voting on it today.
That's smart.
Okay,
That's smart. Yeah.
with no prejudice to the requester.
Mhm.
To resubmit.
Yeah,
I think it's
Sounds like a
appropriate.
motion.
I think it's appropriate to table.
Yes.
Great, thank you, Matt. Sounds like a motion to table by Sandy. Can I get a
Yes.
second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion to table this, say aye.
I
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Okay.
Opposed to tabling? Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, I just don't want them to go through the, hassle of reapplying. I feel like we should just.
Fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
that helps. Next is a request for display on the green from the Guilford Foundation for a story walk. This is even closer, December 3rd.
Let me give you a little background on this. Guilford Foundation celebrated their 50th anniversary this year. As part of that celebration, they are donating a tree to be planted on the green. It has already been planted. They had at the most recent celebration at the Guilford Yacht Club had developed a storyboard which talked about the history of the Guilford Foundation. And they had have asked that it could be displayed on the green. They mounted that storyboard on material that will sustain the weather, and they would like to put it around the tree to draw attention to the fact that the foundation has made this contribution of another tree to the green, and also to celebrate the work that the Guilford Foundation has done for 50 years. I think it's safe to say that the foundation has been a terrific partner to the town in a variety of ways. The most recent was their extremely capable handling of $1 million in American Rescue Plan funds that were distributed through their offices, and just the support and work that they do on behalf of nonprofits throughout Guilford.
once again, to make a short meeting long, the dates are confusing me
Yeah.
here. She said date display to be erected, which was 11/29/25, which would have been Saturday. Date display to be removed 12/1/26, which I don't know whether she meant 12/1/25 or she meant it to be up for 12 months,
Yeah.
which I doubt.
It is not
Sincerely.
intended to be up for a year. That I can say with
Right.
certainty.
Right, so, but the dates have gone by already, which, I mean, I know of course, I would vote yes for this. It was a beautiful presentation and it would be wonderful for more people to see it. So I don't know, it's just clarification of the date, I guess, is what I wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, the form, and yeah, I should look at all of our forms, but the top of the form says that it's for the winter holiday season, which ends on January 15th. So I don't, that probably was not taken into consideration. I mean, it was probably just the form that was used, but do we think that was part of the intent?
I don't know.
She was.
I would have to agree, that's a lot of ambiguity dates.
And I'm not even positive what it is they're proposing, Matt. I'm sorry to keep going to you, but you might be in a position to have some more information here. Is it a story walk or is it I mean, what is that?
It is a series of poster boards that talks
Okay.
about the history of the organization.
Is that-
And that's what the document is.
And they're large.
Yeah, they were the ones on display
Yeah, we
at
saw
the
them,
event. They're
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
And
But-
presumably, excuse me, would they
So I
be?
think the confusion here is when are they intending to display it?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and
What
I would presume it's not going to be inconsistent with every year one of the youth organizations puts up those luminaries around the tree lighting.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Youth Advisory Group. They just go along the path of the cement sidewalks.
I'm just wherever these things are.
Because they wouldn't,
I'm assuming
they
they
wouldn't
wouldn't be
put, they wouldn't
inconsistent.
block the sidewalks with these. I can't imagine.
And it's supposed to be an 8x8 display. It's gotta be bigger than that. Those wouldn't fit in.
Well, we're in an interesting pickle. We want to support the Guilford Foundation. The idea sounds like a good one, but I just don't know if we have enough information.
Well, maybe we can approve it for a period of time that we think is appropriate, and if they've had something else in mind, they can come back and ask to extend it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
a good
think
thought.
the date range on one of the documents that I'm looking at says December 3rd through the 12th. So, and I can take it upon myself to give Liza a call and confirm specifically what those dates are, or we can have Karen do it. Probably while the meeting's going on.
And again, this would be not inconsistent with the events on the tree lighting, around the tree lighting, whatever these things are, because there's a lot of people milling around.
Yeah, it's in section 9, underneath, on item 9 on the application, in small type. It says see map section 9.
Oh man, that is really small. Thank you
Yeah.
for seeing that.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the tree, but section 9 is the one that we were just talking about. The Whitfield Street side.
8 feet high, 8 feet wide, 8 feet deep.
I think we have to go through our forms.
That's for the storyboard, sorry.
Yeah,
It sounds like a peaceful and acceptable use of the green, but should we be forecasting what dates we think they want, or should we table it?
well tabled.
And I don't like them to go through the inconvenience, as you
Well,
can see, but I just,
Unlike the
we
last
don't know the dates at all.
unlike the last request, which they didn't even want till April, that's when they want now. So
Right.
I can make a motion that we allow them to have it from the earliest date on here, which is November 29th up until December 12th. I think is the date you mentioned. And then if that's a misunderstanding.
And December
longer,
12th,
we'll be meeting.
2025.
25.
Because part of the problem is, and I'm not casting aspersions, is the little confusion with the dates that she put down.
Yeah,
It's not even up, it's a little bit of everything.
yeah. So,
I think that's great. I would request that the motion also address that it's.
So I do have some information about the dates. She
Thank you.
initially applied for just a sign.
Okay.
So I asked her to apply for the display because it was much bigger than the sign. But the dates that Matt said were the initial date she asked for. It was like the 3rd to the 12th.
And what is it?
It's I don't know exactly what. I think Matt probably described it the best. It was just the story walk, like a pretty big sign kind
One
of showing
sign.
there.
like half a dozen separate signs. It's kind of what I'm.
Have they done this before? This is like a
No.
deja vu.
No.
Not
No,
this example.
They
Not
just
this
had it at their event,
Okay.
and it was on a wall like this.
Yeah.
But they designed it so that it can withstand the elements, I guess.
And I guess I would just sort of keep coming back. to
Thank
this. Thanks,
Thank you,
Brendan.
Brandon.
Yeah, so if we know the dates, then it seems like,
As long as it's not
to the
inconsistent with
12th.
the needs of the tree lighting, which already exists in place. It's not going to disrupt
absolutely.
traffic
Or the menorah.
or the menorah.
Or the,
Which I don't.
So Matt, that leaves
or
you
the
with,
food bank display.
that leaves you with some
Possible
legwork, working with these folks.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So with all those qualifiers, we have a motion at a certain period of time. And Brendan, good luck getting all this. We're counting on you.
I'm just curious, is your motion going to say the 3rd to the 12th after Brendan's
It's gonna say,
information?
yes, the 3rd to the 12th, sure.
But it's not up there yet.
No, Brendan clarified it at least.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then location wise, Matt and his office will deal with making sure it's not inconsistent with other uses at this time of year.
Yeah.
So that would just be the same section I follow?
the section they requested.
Try to make it a section that doesn't.
But those sections are pretty big, some of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't want to interfere with it. See, it's not like they're competing, so
All right.
I'm comfortable with
With
that.
all that, any further questions, comments? All in favor? I'm in favor.
I,
All right, thank you so much, everyone. All right, brings us toward the end of our agenda, committee reports. Anyone have anything? Anyone want some committee responsibilities?
No. Right, yeah.
I have one.
Sorry? Yeah?
Lou, I have one. I think as you recall from the meeting with the folks supporting the Shumpushaw statute, that we had talked about putting together a site selection committee, which would require a member of the current Board of Selectmen to participate in that. So if there are any volunteers, I think put your name forward to work with that group. Doesn't have to
Not
be
to
the
jump
site.
out, but I'd be interested. I mean, this tickles my historian, latent historian,
mhm, yeah,
you know, segment. So if that works, I'd be happy to be part of that.
Got it. Thanks, Lou. And I'll be appointing several other members.
Okay, great, thanks.
You just want one member of the Board of Selectmen, right, Matt?
Correct.
So Lou just, okay. Sacrificed himself.
Any other committee reports? Correspondence? I have one unless somebody else has any.
I have a few.
Go ahead, you, by all means.
So I'm in receipt of an application for the Marina Commission from Rich DiNardo.
that needs to go through his selectman's office, not directly to us.
Okay,
Because it has to get on the agenda.
okay. I'd like to move that it be put on the agenda, and then I'm in an application from Kevin Ryder for the Fire Commission.
Same things. Okay.
I'd like to move that be put on the agenda.
Are they coming through a town committee or just individuals applying directly to the selectmen?
They're coming through the town committee.
So, okay, so in addition, so one thing that we traditionally ask for is that if it's coming through a town committee, we want it to be a recommendation of the town committee, like a voted on recommendation. So we can rely on the fact that some vetting was done. So on our agenda, you'll see some come through as recommendations and then some come through as, there's another terminology that we use where they're just coming directly to us. And then we're kind of on our own as far as getting comfortable with the individual and deciding how to proceed. So,
Okay, as far as correspondence, it was sent to me, but I also happen to be the chairman of the RTC.
Right, but then usually
Yes.
the chairman of the nominating committee from the various parties is involved too. So
Yeah.
that's just what we're used to.
So
yeah.
these are the administrative steps.
Mhm.
Sounds like within your control.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and actually I sent an earlier email to the whole board asking what the process was, so.
I didn't get it.
When was
Okay.
that?
I don't have it with me, but it was,
I didn't get it.
November.
I would have definitely answered
No,
it or
definitely.
tried to answer it.
No, received that.
so it sounds like circle back, touch base with Matt during the week. And you may have to circle back to the Republican Town Committee, RTC. And they make these same people can come through as recommendations
Mhm.
of the town committee after it's been processed.
no problem. And then I have other correspondence where a Guilford resident is asking how to apply to be on the Charter Revision Commission.
Received it as well.
So how is that process gonna work? And I'd like to motion that we respond to them.
Any individual can reach out to the selectman's office for consideration. It is a comment that has been, it's a question that's been asked in the past. I think Mr. Holman has asked that in the past. And the answer to him is the answer I'll give to everybody else. Anyone who's interested in potentially being a member of that, the Charter Revision Commission please submit that interest to the Selectmen's office.
So this would be the regular application for a board or commission.
No, it is not.
So what is the process in the
process-
correspondence I get? He says he got no answer.
Yeah, it came in yesterday afternoon, as I remember, maybe Saturday. I remember reading it yesterday.
And who is that correspondence
This
from,
is,
John?
this is Mr. Holman, and he says
Oh,
his
Mr.
correspondence
Holman.
dates back to June 3rd.
Mr. Holman
Yeah.
needs to go back. Mr. Holman needs to go back to his emails, as I responded to him on a couple of occasions relative to that request, and said his request has been received and he will be given consideration.
And not that, I mean, Sue can speak for herself, but there was a lengthy exchange between Mr. Holman and Sue on the topic
Yeah.
as well, from back in June. I mean, there were,
So which
was all helpful.
form does he fill out if not the
there's no
typical?
form,
Necessary.
No. Just,
just say, I'm interested.
Matt, when we were considering the formation of the Affordable Housing Commission, I believe there was a general announcement in the paper letting the public know that the commission was going to be formed, and if people had interest, they would express it through the Selectmen's office. Was that pretty much what we do?
Yes, it can be what we do.
Yeah, it can
The
be.
process is dictated by state statutes, so if anyone's interested, I'm sure Pete can forward that along to all of us.
I did point that out to him in that email.
Yes,
chain.
thank you, Sue.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know which statutes apply.
You can.
Trying to figure out what the process is.
Quite
just so I'm
literally,
trying
if
to
you
figure it out.
Google Connecticut State Charter Revision process or statute, it will bring you
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, and
Give
that
it a
might
short
be
circuit, you
slightly
little bit.
different than what I was just referring to, the Affordable Housing Commission, the charter revision
Mhm.
might be more involved.
Yeah.
Pete
By
was,
the-
Has
by the
the
way,
board
it-
voted on any of these?
Pete wants to.
Oh, Pete, go ahead.
Sure, it actually starts with a vote of the Board of Selectmen to establish a Charter Revision Commission. So I think what's been happening so far is there's been general discussions that we're headed for charter revision, and people have started to express interest in that, and they've been going to the selectman's office. But ultimately, it's going to come to a vote for you folks to start the process. And there's pretty strict deadlines and milestones, so that's why there usually is a bunch of informal discussions before it started, because once you vote on it, off we go. Okay.
Right.
And I can help you. I did, because I looked it up. And you literally can Google these things just descriptively, but it's Connecticut statute 7-187 through 7- that goes on to some other items, but for what came up to me was 7-201, but it's not that far. You don't have to read all those. It basically goes 7-87 through 7-191.
Okay.
Once you pull that up, you'll see them. And most of the sections are shockingly straightforward.
I
At this
have
point,
prepared
has anyone been appointed or voted on to be on this charter?
Because we haven't even, we didn't even take the vote that Peter just explained,
Mhm.
that we have to vote to even establish a commission before we put anybody on it. We haven't even taken that
Yeah.
vote.
'Cause the
Okay.
clock starts
I have
with-
put together a timeline pursuant to statute, so I'll get that over to Brendan and he can share it with you folks.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Pete.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just to mention, when that commission or committee is put together, it's done by vote of the Board of Selectmen like any other commission, and the minority rule applies just like any other commission.
Right.
Minority representation.
Yes.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, it's anywhere from 5 to 15 people. So that's one of the things we would sort of establish based on some conversations. Fair enough, Matt. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on there?
I think some of the larger questions on charter revision are how many people we're going to put on the board. And Pete and I have been tracking the number of issues, some of them seemingly very inconsequential, to some of them more significant, that we might want to charge the commission with. However, once we charge the commission, they are free to go where they want to go relative to changes that could potentially be made.
So that was my only other correspondence. We all received that. So thanks for bringing that up. Anything else? Anyone else? On correspondence, any old business pending?
Yeah, there's two applications that have already been submitted to the Board of Selectmen for applicants for the Police Commission. And I would like to move that they're voted on and considered by the Board of Selectmen.
So we're just raising old business and you have hereby done it. As I remember the history of this, there was a fairly significant letter writing campaign for each of the two candidates. And the idea at this point is that we would have an opportunity to hear from them directly. And again, that's an agenda setting item that I don't have the ability to control, but that's my understanding of where we stand with that. Yeah, so that is definitely on everyone's awareness, but it has not made it to an agenda.
Has anyone
Lou,
been
thank you.
appointed to the Police Commission?
Did I miss anything
These
there?
were submitted in April.
Lou, thank you. Thank you for covering that topic. We've had discussions that the board wanted to conduct the interviews because there were multiple candidates for that role. And as Lou just mentioned, unusual in my time on this board, that we were getting letters of support specifically for candidates in their from the respective parties. Jonathan, I think you are actually talking about two specific ones that came through the Republican Town Committee. There's also another one that came through the Independent Town Committee that is being considered. That was party to that letter writing campaign. So it's my anticipation that we'll interview any and all candidates who have submitted the interest in going on the police commission. And we purposely decided to hold off on that so that the new board, all members of the new board, would be able to interview those candidates.
Has anyone been appointed to the board since these candidates submitted their applications in April?
Yeah, there was one member that was submitted, was named to that board. Roger Joyce was, I'm not sure the exact date, but Roger Joyce was the one that filled one of the two vacancies that existed on the board.
So if that candidate was voted on, why weren't these candidates voted on?
That's the discretion of the board.
I didn't know that they've all been presented through the RTC.
These have.
Mr. Foster, they both were, yes.
Okay.
But there was some discussion of Mr. Donlin not going forward during the election season. So maybe we can clarify that through RTC.
Yeah, you
just to
help
make
us.
sure
Oh,
that
sorry.
because it's kind of an odd situation. There's one opening and the Guilford Republican Town Committee has recommended two individuals for it. So
I think at the time there was two openings. And then I don't understand how, he wasn't voted on and the other candidate was voted on.
Well,
It
so at
doesn't
the
sit
moment,
well with me, and I would really like these candidates to be considered.
so at the moment, things are in town are slightly more interesting than I suspect in past years. We have 3 political parties submitting nominations to various boards. And yet, despite that, there are some boards that we still have a struggle filling positions, which is just an absolute shame. But again, I'll flip back and forth between the various positions. Again, my observation, we probably do better than a lot of other towns. We have a really engaged group of folks here in town, a lot of people who are trying to do a lot of good. This board always gets particular attention. Is Mr. Donlin one of the names that you've shown a couple pieces of paper? I haven't seen them. What are the 2 names?
These two have already been submitted, bringing up the old business because they were not voted on, yet
Yeah.
another candidate was voted on.
Right.
so
So
And I
Mr.
don't think that
Donlin
was
is,
fair.
I do sort of recall being pulled back, if not withdrawn entirely, because he was running for another board. And with Mr. Foster, as I understand it, there is, Mr. Foster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Foster, right. I actually had a chance to meet him at the, and speak at quite some length.
Well, I have a problem
At the
with
tip
Mr.
top.
Dolan being removed as well.
I'm not suggesting he was removed by anyone other than
Like, I
Mr.
don't
Donlin.
understand why he wasn't voted on.
So why don't we just look forward instead and try to find the way to get the right people on the commission, which is our goal here.
We have two candidates, one opening. I think the idea is we will be interviewing them. And it's an important position to fill. And I
we
think
have more than
everyone's
two.
on the
I think
same.
we have
Did you
more than
interview
two
the last
candidates.
candidate?
Oh, assuming Donlin is back.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, all right, sorry.
No, that's it. Again,
Was the last candidate
I haven't
interviewed?
had an
Interviewed?
enormous
Who was
amount of
appointed?
experience with this, but I don't know. I didn't interview him.
There was no interview of Mr. Joyce.
And that's fairly unusual.
Why is
The
an
ras-
interview
the ras-
required
the
for these
ras-
candidates?
The rationale for the interviews is the unusual circumstance where we had a significant number of letters of support for the two candidates, something that I had not witnessed in my involvement in this board, and I don't even recall it during my days on the Board of Finance. Charles Havertz did recount to us that a similar situation had happened when he was running for either planning and zoning or zoning board of appeals, and indicated that the interview process was used by the then Board of Selectmen. So I've determined that that process should be followed because of, I'm not going to say contentious, but because of the unusual circumstances with folks promoting one candidate versus another.
So we want to make the best decision as the individuals on the Board of Selectmen. So we talked about how do we do that when there are multiple applicants for one at this point opening. And the suggestion was made, well, why don't we talk to the people, interview them?
Yeah.
Certainly open to any other ideas of how we can make the best decision.
Well, I have multiple problems with this process. I don't think the other candidates should have been voted on without these candidates being voted on. I don't think that one candidate should be required to have an interview while another candidate is not. I'm trying to see this as a fair and impartial process, and I'm not seeing that. And I'm here to tell you that I don't think that's right.
But we sit here today with a purpose of filling that commission. So where do we go from here? And we're planning on interviewing these people, and I think that we should do it, set it up, do it.
These are respectable residents. They've
So-
made their application properly, and I'd like them to be voted on.
You think we should just go ahead and vote right now? Or not right now, but at the next meeting when we can put it on the agenda without taking any further steps to
I believe that's the
make a
first
smart
selectman's
decision?
purview to decide what's on the agenda. But yes, I would like these applicants to be on the agenda and to be voted on. I don't understand why they have not been.
Jonathan, you want to talk about the realities? We very often have not put candidates on the board for a couple of reasons. One, we didn't feel they were the most qualified candidate. Two, we often felt that some of those candidates would not get the support of the entire board. And then in other cases, we've seen where a nomination for one of those for an appointee to a board failed for lack of a second on the nomination. So many times we do not submit individuals to that kind of result.
So I don't know how they're summarily dismissed without a vote or discussion from the Board of Selectmen.
They haven't been summarily
They haven't
dismissed.
been-
They're in a queue.
Okay, I'm sorry. You seem to imply that they weren't qualified or that they,
No, he's
No,
No, I
explaining
didn't
past
say that. I
practice.
didn't say those specific candidates weren't qualified.
okay.
I mean, in this case.
Not
we
knowing
have-
the exact process, I would move that these candidates are voted on.
Well,
by the Board
the
of
purpose of
Selectmen
old business is to
to be
raise.
appointed to these commissions.
Right. The
Well-
purpose of old business is to raise items that need to be addressed and that should be kept top of mind, which these are, and everyone has kept it. It's not a place to make a motion to add it to an agenda. The agenda gets set by the first selectman. And your passion for this, I can say, around today's meeting is noted and recognized, and there are multiple candidates for one seat. So we were trying to
Not at
find a
the
way.
time that the two were submitted. There was two
Yes.
openings,
Yeah, and one has been filled.
which I have serious problems with.
And if you had been here, you would have been able to express that. Now that you're here, that's frankly in the rear view. I'm not sure what you expect us to do about something that's already happened. There was a viable candidate for an opening on a board that's important to the town, and that's happened.
I think these are qualified candidates and I'd like to see them be considered. This is 6 months later after these applications have been turned in.
Got it.
We still have some other candidates, though, that should be voted on. So if we're gonna do this, there would be more than just, there's one position, but there's at least 4 candidates in the running right now for it. So when you say voted
How
on,
many candidates were there in April when they applied?
well, it doesn't matter. We haven't done the vote yet.
It matters to me, Sandy.
I know, it matters to you, but it's, you can say it and I can say what I can say.
True.
So, if we're putting this on the agenda for the next meeting, there'll be more than those 2 names. And when you say,
I think it's
and I just want to say,
unfair
when you say
immediately that
to
they
be
weren't
voted
considered
on,
when they
that doesn't
applied.
mean they're going to be voted in.
How long have these other applicants waited for a vote?
In some cases, people wait for years
Yeah,
for board positions. There are very often more than one qualified person for a candidate. And as Matt said, from time to time, there are unqualified candidates for boards and they get disappointed. No one is saying either of those things with regard to these people, other than there are a limited number of seats for a board position that is has a lot of interest. And to the extent that old business is here to get this back on the front burner, I can certainly say you've accomplished that. But as Sandy's saying, if it happens that way, and we sort of forego the process that we had kind of built some consensus on, which is to hear from these folks and try and reach a better understanding of why someone is in fact qualified or feels like the right person, because there's a certain amount of subjectivity there. There may be more than 2 candidates for this one seat, and the outcome may not be to your liking. So maybe the process is working out for you.
I do not think this process is fair and impartial.
Okay.
Said my piece, and
Duly
I'm
noted.
sorry, it's your agenda, sir.
No. If you didn't raise it, that would be the only problem. You're here to express opinions and to advance issues for everybody. So no offense as far as I'm concerned. I think you did a nice job articulating passionately a topic that you feel strongly about. I'm just pointing out, you got to occasionally be careful what you ask for, because if there's 4 names on there, you never know how it's going to break. And maybe the interviewing is not such a bad idea.
Well, if they were processed when they were submitted, there was 2 openings and there was no other applicants.
Okay.
There were.
I'm not sure that's accurate. I mean, from your perspective on the outside looking in, I can see you may have believed that to be the case. And I don't know every detail and I don't have a calendar in front of me, but Matt's sitting there ready to chime in. But I don't think that statement is accurate. I think there were candidates. This board always has candidates that are interested in sitting on it. There's always interest in people wanting to be on the police commission. It's an important commission. They do an amazing job.
Perhaps we should look at the dates of the applications and try and take a
You're
look at the
welcome to do
timeline.
whatever legwork you want to prepare for the next hearing.
I wouldn't shut someone out of a process just because somebody else got their form in a day earlier. That's why I like the idea of the interviews. That prevents us from relying on something arbitrary like a date or a political party. It gives us the best shot of looking at the individual. So I like that.
I would process them as they come in.
Okay. And if you had
Not
that,
just
if you had
hold
that,
off and wait for other
if
applicants.
you had that authority, you would have that opportunity to do it. But given that you don't, we'll have to wait for that day. And at the moment, it came up on old business. You've raised it, as I'm getting to a point of repeating myself because you're
Yes,
repeating
I'm sorry.
yourself.
I don't want to.
Okay, where
I've said my piece.
you've kind of, added some urgency to it. And so candidly, a decision will end up getting made, whether the interviews make sense or whether your request to consider these on, as a block and to simply vote on one of a number of people for one seat, maybe that's how it plays out. Then you got to be prepared for the consequences of that.
I would just like the process to be uniform for all applicants and timely.
Yeah, okay, duly noted. Anybody else? That was exciting. Thanks. Old business that covers old business, or does anybody else have any other old business? No, new business. Do we have anyone else in public forum? We still have a number of folks on the Zoom. Anybody public forum on any issue? Everybody's muted, so nobody's trying to come on. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I missed the part where Matt says non-debatable motion, but you got it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brendan.